Genuinely, what happens if it doesn't work out? What happens? Like, what happens if the goal you're chasing is unachievable? Just because you don't quit, that doesn't mean you're gonna make it. And that's true, you know. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not knocking anybody for trying. Like in fact, kudos to you. And I'm trying myself. But sometimes I wonder what would happen if I don't make it. A lot of motivational things on like YouTube or TikTok, they just talk about having this, delusional belief that you're going to make it no matter what. That if you have this mindset of just unrelenting effort and unshakable belief and that delusional self-confidence, that it's all just going to work out. And maybe that's true. Like everyone's seen that video of Conor McGregor talking about his delusion, and he's going to be world champion one day, and he's going to, hold the belt, hold two belts, and he did. And he manifested it, literally. He talks about that. But, I'm still in the thick of things. I'm still in the thick of it. And I'm not anywhere near where I want to be, and I'm still chasing. I'm still chasing my goals, man. That, perhaps are unconventional and wildly unattainable. But I'm pushing forth anyways. But I'm also human. And I tend to overthink my way out of a lot of situations, that could perhaps better my life, I don't talk to the girl at the bar because I get anxious. And maybe that's my wife. Who knows? And sometimes I struggle with anxiety. Sometimes my thoughts prevent me from doing the thing, or they encourage me to quit. I've always been good at stuff. I'll pick up something, skating, ukulele, you name it, and then I'll quit it a week later because I'm not immediately good at it. I was always that guy. And sometimes I wonder what will happen if I don't make it, if it doesn't work out. And that's a rational thought, it's rational to think that it's logical. But perhaps you need to be irrational to develop that delusional self-belief that seems so required for greatness. But, my logical mind needed to break it down logically. So I genuinely thought, like, what if it doesn't work out? What if, Scotswood gets no traction? What if my YouTube doesn't get any views? What if, my videos collect dust, or my articles get lost in the void of the internet? And then what, Well, me personally, now, I have nothing to lose. I have a chunk of savings. I have cheap rent. I have no debt. I have no kids. I have no wife, no girlfriend. I'm in a position where I can afford to be broke. I am in a position where the risk doesn't seem that scary. My rock bottom doesn't seem too bad. Like, if I hit rock bottom, zero money in my bank account, like I have friends whose couches I can sleep on. There are opportunities if I crash and burn that I can just get back on my feet, get a couple dollars and just kind of work my way up in the world. I can walk home with like my tail tucked between my legs and be like, "Mom, I failed." And she'll be like, "All right, get a job, get in the basement. You can chill here for a little bit." I can walk through offices with a suit on and a resume in my hand, But step one, bro, take that fucking leap of faith and bet on yourself. And if the thoughts of whether it will or will not work out creep into your mind, as I guarantee they probably will, then ask yourself, what is the worst possible case scenario for me? What is my rock bottom? Can I afford to be broke? And what if this doesn't work out? What if it doesn't fucking work? It's important to take that leap. It's important to take that risk. it's important to bet on yourself. You know, there's only one life, and that sounds corny, but it's true. And we're all experiencing our first go around together. And there's motherfuckers in worse situations that are farther than you in life. You know? And they say, this is an original thought, but I saw it today earlier. I forget where. They say comparison is the thief of joy. But the reason for that is you're comparing your version of success to somebody else's. You're on different paths, bro. So stop comparing and figure out, you know, what is your idea of success? Who is that version of you? And you have to also understand that success is a lagging indicator. You know? You plant the tree today. You don't see, the tree doesn't bear fruits for, I don't know, months or years. I don't know. Another botanist or a tree person. But like I said, there's only one life, and I'm not going to waste mine sitting behind a desk for 30, 40 years. You know, I'm choosing now to bet on myself, and if it doesn't work out, well, it'll all work out anyways. That's the beautiful part. If it doesn't work out, it'll work out. If I chase my dreams and fall on my fucking face, then it'll work out. I'll figure it out. You know, I can live a happy life still. I can have a second chance. That's the beauty in life. Unless I fucking die trying. Unless it kills me. As long as I'm alive, as long as you're alive, bro, you can try. I see all these like accounts on Instagram that are doing this like trend, called like my 5 to 9 after or before my 9 to 5. You know? And it's like meal prep, gym, take care of my kids, go to jujitsu, fucking work on my business. You can do that shit, bro. Uber drivers. I've talked to countless Uber drivers that are like, yeah, I'm a lawyer, or I have a full-time job. I just do this to make some extra money. And I get it. This economy is fucked, bro. It's fucked. But think about someone who's great in your mind. Alexander the Great, you know, Napoleon, McGregor. And just ask yourself, would these conditions today stop that person from pursuing what they did? Or even just trying, you know? Like, yeah, Alexander the Great inherited the kingdom of Macedonia, modern day Macedonia. So he's a fucking Nepo baby, dude, but he had a dream, he had a vision, and got one of the biggest land empires ever. But yeah, like I said, I'm choosing to bet on myself. And I urge you to have unrealistic expectations and have unrealistic goals and chase your fucking dreams, because this is it, man. What else is there? And like I said, if it doesn't work out, it will work out. What else are you gonna do? Come on.